Today I want to explore the Vindertech Blaster. There are multiple ways that you can go about this, and I believe there are three primary loadouts that you would want to use. So I want to try all three different loadouts and different perks and try to determine which one is overall the most effective. Your first possible loadout is Ranger Deadeye, or a variety of Ranger Deadeye, and then Field Agent Rio. Now, Field Agent Rio, she is supposed to give you an increased critical rating of 18. Then you got Ranger Deadeye, which is going to increase your overall damage and your headshot damage. And then this third possible layout has Trail Blaster AC, which is going to increase your critical hit damage by 70%. So to reiterate, you can either use this loadout for increased crit chance rating, you can use this one for damage, or you can use this one for increased crit damage. Now let's break this down a little bit further. My base damage is 25,883,000.3. My headshot damage is 51,766.5. If I use this with the increased rating, it moves it from 51.5% to 57.5. That gives me a net increase of 6% more crit chance. Now that's not going to change my crit damage, that's going to stay the same. My current loadout has energy, damage, stability, crit rating, crit damage. The reason why stability is on there because I'm just out of reperk. I really need to change that to reload speed. With this gun, you definitely want reload speed on it. And I think if you watch the video of this gun in action, I was killed and got bound up several times just because of the reload. Now, one thing that's kind of deceiving is it says magazine shots 15, but that fires 3 energy nodes, or it's like, think of it as a possible 3-round burst. So you only get to shoot the gun 5 times, then you have to reload. The fire rate on it's 1.8, which is really not too different from the snipers that I've been using. In fact, I took a look at it to find out, and on Ralphie's Revenge, the fire rate is 1.2. Betsy's fire rate is 1.2. So this isn't too far off from snipers. So it's a slower rate of fire, and it's not much faster than a sniper, and it doesn't do nearly as much damage as a sniper. But we'll talk more about this, and we'll explore this and see if it's overall positive or negative. The next possible loadout is this one here, which is going to increase your damage. So it's going to move your damage from 29,000. No, it's going to move it up to 29,000. It's going from 25,000 to 29,000, from 51,000 to 58,000. That gives you a net increase of 3,500 damage per shot, or 7,140 damage per shot, headshot damage. Notice that your crit chance is going to drop down from 57% to 51%. However, the crit damage is going to stay the same. With this loadout, you're going to get increased crit damage. So you'll notice that the damage here is the same as here, and the headshot damage is the same. The crit chance is going to be less. It's going to be the same with Ranger Deadeye, but here you get a huge increase in the crit damage. That amounts to 70 more crit damage. I felt like this would be the most effective loadout first. If I should probably change that damage to crit damage to see if it's more effective, and I definitely need to change that to reload. With the current loadout, this is what I got for the body shots. There we go. I ended up with an average of 76,614 per shot. But that can be a little misleading. I believe these were the crits that landed. Remember that the base damage on this one is 25,000, and only 4 out of the 20 shots were an actual 25,000, and the rest of them I have no idea where these came from, and I don't know why that one did less. Makes no sense, but that's what it did. And then the headshot damage was 51,000. So again, I had 4 that were that. I had 2 that were less. And then I'm guessing these were some form of a crit chance rating. I mean, crit damage, I'm guessing. Again, I'm not sure on the math on this or why, but that ended up with averaging 103 per shot. Moving over to the elementals, as a reminder, whenever you have an energy weapon, it does 75% of the damage. So my body shots were 25,000. You multiply that by 75,000, it gives you 19,412. And you can see against the elementals, this is how many were 19,000. And then I had one that was less, 18,000. I guess if you just kind of nick them with one of the 3 nodes that get fired out, maybe you only do a portion. I don't know. I simply don't know. Then on the headshots, again, you're doing 75% of the original damage. So original damage was 51,000. That gives you 38,000. And that's where these come in. And then these, I'm assuming, were some form of a crit chance. Then you'll see the rest. Then I've got the rest of the video. You can see the gun in action. It took me some time to get used to it because I was accustomed to using snipers, and this kind of has a different feel for me. I think a lot of times it was better if I just hip fired it, and instead of trying to zoom in and focus when the enemies are a little bit closer. It seems like it's fairly accurate just to hip fire it. And I didn't learn that till a little bit later on. So I think as I play with this more and get more familiar with the weapon, I can be a lot more effective than in my first video. I tried to use it on several encampments, and boy, I just failed miserably. It was brutal. And the reason why is that reload rate. I mean, you're only getting 5 shots. So when you have the little guys coming at you, it's really not enough, that 25,000. Base damage, if you just get a body shot on them, isn't really enough to take them out. If you can get that headshot and get the explosion to help take out some of the others, that's key. But if you miss, it doesn't fire fast enough to take out the others. So if you've got about 9 or 10 of them coming at you, it's really difficult to overcome that if you're not really accurate and can make snap decisions and decide, okay, here's the weak one, I got to hit him, and you headshot it, and then go to the next one and headshot that one. I think you have to be really strategic in your elimination of them, and I'm getting better at it. I'm not there yet, but that was my experience, and you can watch the rest of the video, and it's just the gun and gameplay, and that's it. So thanks for watching. I'm looking forward to changing some of these perks around, and maybe one is a little more fluid, a little more dynamic, and a little bit better than my first experience with this one.